The standard of beauty is steeped in patriarchy, racism, sexism. There was a standard of what things look like. We are in a different time now as there's an exploration happening.
Whenever someone said, oh, you're like a white boy, I took it as a compliment because I wanted that blonde hair. I wanted to be 6 foot tall. I wanted the blue eyes.
Like West is best, white is right, and everything else is like subpar to that.
Well, if this is the beauty standard, then what is it? What is true about Black people?
I grew up in a mostly white suburban town in New Jersey.
I would say there were about 3,500 white folks, 200 blacks, and they were all living in the poorest section of town, and 5 Asians, and that was my family.
I am black and I was raised very culturally black, and I identify very strongly with my blackness.
I was always like one of 5 in a room or one of 3 in a room.
But at that time, it was only black and white. Asians were just foreigners.
All the LGBTQ movies or TV show I saw was all majority white, and I saw them, they're like, oh, they're attractive, and they're like happy being gay in the TV, whatever. That's the moment like I fantasize because I want to be like them. I want to be as happy as they are.
As a person who has been in a relationship with a person who is not black, a person who's white, it has made me very aware of the bubble of privilege that white men live in, white women live in.
We still hold whiteness as like the absolute.
This girl who happened to be Dominican made a comment to me. She was like, oh yeah, guys don't like girls with nappy hair.
So when people kept saying, oh, you're kind of cute for an Asian guy, or you look kind of mixed, yeah, you're cute. And at the time, I took it as a compliment because I was like, yeah, I can pass off as a white guy, or I can pass off as American, so I'm very good looking.
I started like wondering my self-worth. I was like, am I not attractive?
So I would dye my hair blonde, have blue contacts.
I still struggle sometimes with like, how am I gonna be received when I go into this new space and these people are just meeting me for the first time and they're like, oh, here's this big black girl.
But there are people who walk into the room, other race, other creeds, and they have that confidence, and it took over 20 years for me to get there.
Colorism has affected even our own notion of what beauty is.
There's still colorism that's around, for sure.
I'm not necessarily light skinned, but I'm definitely more along the lighter skin spectrum. So I know that I have not necessarily had some of like the issues that people who are darker skinned have had to face dealing with black people and with white people.
Being biracial also, I think oftentimes when like a black cisgender man comes up to me, I worry that he is attracted to me because I'm like racially ambiguous.
I mean, it even came from my mother, and she still suggests that I marry light skin.
So you see this in hymns, right? Wash me, Lord, as white as snow. What does that mean? Wash me as white as snow. I'm black as dirt.
One time I was supposed to be an inmate, but the casting director, when I got to set, said I was too attractive, so then I became a cop. It was very bizarre.
I grew up in an African household, but every time I came out the house, I'm in like the world. So I didn't understand a lot of like African American traditions and stuff like that. So I would get like Jones, people say that, get clowned or get teased.
Members of the black community would police my blackness.
My hair is good hair. It's too curly. It blows out bone straight, so you can't be black.
The way I spoke, how my mom did my hair, how I would dress.
I think that's the way that we're robbed often in black communities, is that we're told this is who you have to be because of the imagination of white folks or of dominant culture.
I did a lot of things in my youth that I regret. I did a lot of things to myself and to my body that I also regret just because I hated myself.
We don't have to define our beauty or our desirability based on racist and sexist standards.
Because I don't look like those traditional images of beauty. So I don't know if I've reconciled it. I just kind of just get through it. I just insist on reminding myself, which is most important, to, know that you are beautiful.
That my Black experience is different, and I focus and zone in on that experience and what that means for myself.
I feel that we're uplifting a singular narrative around a thing that is so expansive and so nuanced.
And I like to explore the complexity of what it's like to be human, because I think a lot of the times, especially in media with tropes, it becomes very reductive and very archaic. The ways we look at people and we assume, oh, okay, you look like this.
I'm so secure in who I am and who I am within the world and within our community that I have no problem kind of facing it head on.
I remembered watching Mulan for the first time and being like, wait, I don't have to be like this lily white girl singing to animals to be okay. Like, this is great. And I literally cry at the end of Mulan every time when like the emperor is like, we honor you. Because it's like she can fully be herself.
Self-love is the highest form of like of yourself.
Love each other in a way that's very visible to others.
Is that the viciousness is not what we say. The viciousness is actually the feelings behind and the understandings behind what we say, right? And so when we say this person is beautiful and I want to be like them, often we're saying that what I am is not good enough and I need to be something other than what I am. And that is where the harm and the pain, and that's the healing that we get to do.